here we are, picking up the 1979 wet bike. Got my pal Anthony helping me pick it up. That's what I was told. Okay, hold up. So what exactly is this thing? The wet bike, introduced in 1978 by American Spirit Company, is essentially a motorcycle on water. While initially sitting very low in the water, once power is applied, it jumps up on two hydrofoil skis and planes across the top of the water. While relying on the front ski for steering rather than an articulating jet nozzle, combined with a higher center of gravity, some riders have deemed them hard to ride. But I think I can do it.
Oh.
Knowing a little more about this vehicular oddity, let's get this thing underneath the carport and see what we're dealing with and learn a little bit more about the machine. So the wet bike is essentially a mono hull, a one-piece hull. It's got the larger, relatively stationary ski in the back with the jet pump mounted down here. Sucks up water from underneath of the ski and shoots it out the back. We've got our main control panel with our lanyard, our blower, and our choke. See here? Our last registration sticker was out of Wisconsin in 1988, so I have a feeling that maybe this thing hasn't been ridden since then, and maybe it's never seen salt water. Original owner actually put this Arctic Cat sticker up here. Not entirely untrue. American Spirit Company was eventually bought by Arctic Cat, and I'm sure this guy being from Wisconsin might have had a few snowmobiles and wanted to give a shout out to the brand there. Popping the hood, or the seat here. Underneath we have a 50 horsepower Suzuki outboard engine that's hooked up through a transfer drive down to the jet pump below. This is a pretty standard 70s outboard. Here we can see the original dealer sticker, Surf and Turf Limited, out of
Oconomowoc,
Wisconsin, I think. So that's a wet bike. Now that you have an idea of what this machine is, we have to figure out why it's locked up and if the engine is worth saving. I have a line on an engine that spins, But I want to give this one everything I have before I spend more money on that one. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start making some room. A lot of these parts are going to need to get taken out, cleaned up, or replaced. Gaskets are going to need to be replaced, and I just need to be able to see what I'm working with here. So we're going to be pulling off the exhaust, expansion chamber, whatever you want to call it. Make some room so we can eventually get to the head here. While moderate corrosion existed on a lot of these parts, I was pleasantly surprised that most screws and bolts kind of broke free with fairly minimal effort. Once I got that out of the way, I can pull this big piece of flotation foam out. It's normally glued to the sides, but both of them have come loose over the years. Gives me a lot more working room with these out. We're going to pull that one out right now. Looking inside the tubes, you can see a lot of this corrosion. It's not looking good, but as soon as I started to vacuum it up and chip away at it, it starts coming off pretty easily. So I might have caught some of this stuff right before it's too far gone, but I'm going to let some of you experts that have a little bit better idea on this give me a better idea, because I'm not very well outversed in outboards, and that's where I need you guys to help me out in deciding what's worth saving, what's worth fixing, and what needs replacing. I've been spraying PB Blaster in through the spark plug gaps, trying to get this breaker bar on the flywheel. It is not budging at all. Let's keep taking some stuff apart and let those cylinders soak. Underneath the switch panel, you have access to the top of the fuel tank, as well as the intake and the blower ducting. That's what you see there, those white tubes. Pulling the fuel line off, it's going to need a new fuel filter. Basically any of the rubber lines I'm going to be replacing here. Now I've got room to start pulling the head. Oddly enough, you can get every single bolt off except the very bottom one here, which you need to pull this rubber line nipple off of some of the expansion and chamber components here in order to get that final head bolt out. And the head bolt was holding down the base of the expansion chamber, so now with all that out, I can tap the head off and pull the expansion chamber off. The red sauce you see in there is the PB Blaster product. Everything else is obviously grime. Now that we have the head off, let's see what we are working with. Yuck. A lot of deposits. A lot of buildup on the walls. All the stuff that's spilled out. There's all the gunk in the exhaust ports down there. We're gonna have to get this all cleaned up and see if we can't bust those pistons loose. So that's where I'm at, guys. I've torn this thing down, got the head off, seen basically what I'm working with on the top end. Where should I go from here? Do you think this thing's too far gone? Should I pull the carb end off to see the bottom end, try and break these pistons free, and hone everything out, clean everything up, new gaskets, etc.? Or should I replace this but not that, clean this up? Let me know in the comments below. And also, the boat's still out there. Look, there it is. It's right there, see? So I'm not done with the boat. I still have it. I need to get back on it. This isn't going to replace the boat. I want this to be a sweet pairing to go with the boat at the boat ramp. So hit like, hit subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Barely Boat Ride out.
Flowers as they
It's called the Wet Bike, and it's your ticket to experience the great outdoors as you never have before.